record of former Baltimore Ravens defensive assistants going to different teams of coaching has not been very good. Del Rio is he still in Jacksonville, or he's gotten fired?
Well, he's had actually a pretty successful
stint. He's
if you're
fielded good
at
teams,
losses, yeah,
good teams. He hasn't done much in the postseason.
Which we'll get there.
Marvin Lewis, he had that one really good year with Cincinnati, and then everything else has been falling apart. And they've been setting they set records for most arrests in a season. That team.
Oh, count it.
Yeah. What's his name? Mike Nolan in San Francisco got fired mid-season last year. I mean, there's all kinds of failures across the league. I'm not sure he'll be different, especially since his father wasn't a very good coach. Or his father, Buddy Ryan, was not as good a coach as he was a coordinator. But Bart Scott's a decent player, and he can make many gains. But, I mean, Sanchez is the rookie. It's either going to be him or Kellen Clemens. And, again, Kellen Clemens brings me back to the whole – you cannot tell me you're going to intentionally draft a quarterback in the second, third, or fourth round of the draft and develop him to be your starter. If you get lucky, you'll find somebody. Most of the time, you're not getting lucky. Yeah. It's just
I agree.
There's some poor quarterbacks out there. Kellen Clemens, second round draft pick. If he was gonna be the starter by now, and it was like 4 years ago, he's a second round draft pick. If he was gonna be the starter, he would have taken it by now. So
I agree.
Obviously, you want Sanchez to be the starter, and as a rookie, I don't know. So there's your breakdown. There's your quick changes. So favorite is
Patriots.
Yeah, shocking. New England's easily the favorite. It would be an upset.
Yeah.
It would definitely be an upset.
Now this is where it could get interesting.
Okay, who's your dark horse?
I have my dark horse. Now we're talking about teams, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my dark horse for teams is the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that's my dark horse too. Okay. If anybody's going to step up and challenge them, it's going to be the Bills. And I don't think that's going to be because of T.O., but I don't think so. But I mean, that's if they do well, because they didn't do well last. I mean, they finished like 7-9 or 8-8 last year.
The Bills.
They were
7-9.
7-9 last year. So we're basically saying. I mean, I'm thinking maybe. I mean, to win the division, they're gonna have to get at least 4 more wins. And if they swing it that way, T.O. is gonna be all over that. I did that. It's all because of me. Blah blah blah.
Whatever.
But yeah, I think that's more likely.
So who is your cellar dweller?
No, the Jets. The Jets are going down this year. No doubt about it. And I blame – well, I'll tell you who I blame. We'll get to least valuable player.
Okay. My cellar dweller is the Jets.
The Jets. Well, I think this is I think everybody has their obvious spot in this division. I think that's versus some other divisions we can get to.
I think – here's what I think.
Okay.
I think the Jets had a decent start to the season last year and stumbled down the stretch, whether it was because of Favre or not. But my theory is they finished – 9-7. Yes,
they started 8-3
and finished 9-7.
And finished 9-7.
Okay, here's my thing. They finished 9-7 with Favre.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I mean, really? And now they don't have him.
Yeah.
And they have a rookie quarterback. They have a new coach. Like you just said, the Jets are going down.
Yeah. I mean, if here's the one scenario. Sanchez plays better than anybody can predict, and the defense is lights out.
And they win. I still think they win the wild card.
Yeah. I mean if that happens, I mean they could do it. I mean, here's the thing: is that Jets defense going to have to hold? Look at it this way: if anybody's going to beat the Patriots, you're looking at putting 30 points on the board. I don't think Sanchez and co, or even Clemens and co, has it in them. I don't think, even Terrell Owens and.
I don't think. I was just going to say maybe the Dolphins could put up that number.
I don't even think so, because their only weapon is Ronnie Brown. Even Pennington's, he's a caretaker. He's not a weapon. But Trent Edwards was very close last year to I talk about this, the quarterback. There's a difference between a caretaker and a weapon. Brady is a weapon because he's a guy that you have to keep count on, because he can beat you with his arm. He can beat you with his smarts. He can outwit you. All these other things. A lot of quarterbacks in the league are in that middle ground between those two. Edwards came very close to becoming a weapon last year at times. And if he can take that step forward, they can put 30 up on you. Especially since I'm very leery of the Patriots defense.
Yeah.
All right. So who's your MVP then? You said it was going to be a shock.
Okay. Well, it might not be a shock. This is kind of a stretch, and it's not going to happen. But I think my MVP is going to be somebody that I think has been very important to the Patriots. Wes Welker.
Welker is is the MVP of the AFC East.
Yes.
Very much so. But I think I see where you're coming from. I got to disagree with a little bit, because everything on that team runs through Tom Brady, and everything on that team is going to run through him this year. If he doesn't perform well, He's not going. That team's not going to do well.
See, I could have picked.
I know
Brady,
I know it's very simple, but Brady is the obvious choice, and he's the most comfortable choice, I should say. Even I think Tom Brady, if he plays as well as if he plays as well as he can, barring any complications from his injury or rust, should easily throw 35 touchdowns this year.
And I bet because of that, I bet he plays a lot more in the preseason than we would normally see.
Oh yeah.
Do you agree?
Oh yeah. Except the only thing, well, maybe not. It's hard because all the information coming out of all these like mini camps and all that is Brady's healthy. He's fine. He's completely fine. If that's the case, then they might not put him in the game.
I just meant because of the rust.
But that's not really Belichick style though. But yeah, it can go either way. I would, but I'm not Bill Belichick. I might look like him a little bit.
So who's your LVP?
Least valuable player is going to be Mark Sanchez. He's going to throw like 25 interceptions this year. You watch.
Okay.
I've been telling everybody for months that guy's not going to be good in the NFL.
My least valuable player is somebody on the Jets, and it's Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, I think this division.
The reason I think is I actually when I think of an MVP, I think of somebody that in a way puts the team on their back, but also is just an incredibly valuable, assisted that team. And I think when I think of a least valuable player, I think of somebody that, if you will, hindered the team. And I'm sorry, I do think that I agree with you, and I do think that he's not. I think that everybody is thinking that he's going to be amazing and take the Jets to the promised land, and I don't think so. Not every great top 5 quarterback pick that was great in college ends up being great in the NFL.
And if you ask me, he shouldn't have been a top 10 or first round draft pick. I would not. If I was a GM, I would not have spent a first round draft pick on him whatsoever, need or not. If I can get him in the second round, hey, why not? I'll try it. Screw around. But then again, I'm not tied down with that huge contract and all that. He was not very good in college. Did you watch him?
No, he was. Thank you. He wasn't. You're right. He was decent. He was not.
He was getting to be a lot better around the Rose Bowl, but I still maintain watching that Rose Bowl game, he is the goofiest mechanics I've ever seen.
And I don't think he's as good as Carson Palmer was or Matt Leinart even.
Yeah, or even I thought John David Booty coming out of USC a couple years ago was very good in college. I was surprised that he didn't go higher in the NFL.
That's your point. Is those three? I think we're all three better than.
Yeah, and again, who? John David Booty? Yeah, he was a backup quarterback on the Vikings. He couldn't beat out Tavares Jackson in the NFL, and I think he was better in college.
Maybe we'll be wrong, and maybe in 6 months we'll play this back, and he'll be.
And hey, if he turns out to be great, good for him. But and honestly, it's not really his fault. That he just took advantage of the system, really. I can't really blame him. The system somehow made him out to be so great. But, he obviously has confidence in himself. All right.
Okay, so you want to go just kind of down the records?
Okay, let's go. Just go ahead and do all four.
Okay. I, of course, have the Patriots.
Okay.
12-4.
Okay.
I see easily 12 wins. Next, I have the Dolphins, 10-6.
Okay.
Then I have the Jets at 8-8. This is the one I think might be even a little generous. And then I have the Bills at 8-8.
I have the Patriots 12-4.
Oh, okay, we agree.
Bills at 8-8.
As in second.
Okay. I'm giving them an extra win this year. I don't know why, but they are my dark horse. If anybody's gonna step up, they are. They are the best team.
So that's interesting. We both have 8-8, but you have them second. Okay.
Yeah. Dolphins third, 7-9.
Okay.
So they're not winning. They're not a winning record this year.
So you were not nice to the Jets.
Hey, just remember about the Dolphins. Okay. They went 1-15 and they then moved to 10-6. They were not as good. They were not as bad as
11-5.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, 11-5. You're right. They were not as bad as 1-15. They were not as good as 11-5. Their talent level is somewhere in the middle. 7-9 is approximately in the middle, and the Jets are going to be 5-11.
So I was pretty generous.
Yeah. Well, and if I could see any of these teams getting something going and winning, 9-10 games besides New England. And New England could potentially go 15-1. But in all honesty, if New England's 12-4, somebody's got to be on the other end of the spectrum.
Yep.
Last year was a really weird year. They were all 7-9 or better. Not going to happen again, in my opinion.
Yep.
All right, and this also is a great segue because we just spent 20 minutes talking about the AFC East. We're going to spend 10 more minutes talking about the AFC East. Because and in conjunction with these, and we're going to do this again for the foreseeable future. Unless something else comes along that we cannot let go, we're going to do a AFC East oriented top 5, and this top 5 is going to be the storylines about the season. You know, what's coming up, what's big, what's important. I think it's actually your turn to lead it, but I think I took that away from you.
It doesn't really matter.
All right, so
I'll start.